Hello and welcome to Awesome Bros. This week, we're putting against each other two different beers, two different prices. Basically, the most expensive one we have in the fridge versus the least expensive one in the fridge. Who will prevail? Intro.
For an open window on a crappy world, Max and Chris from Ups and Brews. Ups and Brews. Welcome to Ups and Brews.
Alright, so this week we're taking a look at two of the same style beers, but at two very different price ranges.
And different regions.
In different regions, yeah, of course. So the first one is from, I was going to say half hours, but technically the first one is the other one. But anyways.
Let's go with the first one.
The first one is the Half Hours on Earth. What's the name of it?
Story of Saison, which is an oak-aged farmhouse harvest ale, clocking at 5% from Half Hour on Earth out there, Seaford, Ontario.
It is one of my favorite breweries in Ontario, for sure. I think what they're doing right now is phenomenal. I love the concept of doing small batch beers and packing a bunch of flavors in those beers. They had a maple syrup pancake beer that was to die for. And it really tasted like maple syrup pancakes.
And their Pilsner that they did this summer was crazy.
I don't think I had a chance to try their Pilsner, but I would love to have tried it because I'm a big fan of Pilsners right now, so it would have been nice to have that. So anyways, phenomenal brewery from Ontario, phenomenal brewery for Canada in general, I would say.
I think it represents a lot of the creativity we have here in Canada and also showcases a lot of local ingredients in their own beer.
And the reason why I specify Canada is because the runner-up for the most expensive bottle in our lineup is from
America!
Yeah.
Oh shit, we're in America too.
Technically we're in America.
From the United States of America, Jester King Bière de Coupage. So this beer, I bought this one back in Florida. It's a 2017, let's say, vintage bottle that I bought at a bottle shop in Miami, which costed me $45 US. US.
Yeah. And you couldn't bring me back that Roden Back 2014. But you brought this one back.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
It's decent, but it's not a Roden Back 2014.
That's fine. Back to the beer. So Jester King is a well-known brewery out there in the U.S. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're from Austin, Texas. Yeah. They have their own farm over there. They built themselves a very big relationship with what they put in their beer, but also giving back to the community. So if you go there, they have a bunch of goats roaming around. They hire a farmer, which is famously known because girls say that he's hot. I think he's a very handsome man.
From Jester King?
Yeah, from Jester King. If you Google him, he's like famous,
okay,
which is very cool. And I was very excited about getting my hands on it. I already tried a lot of their sours, and they do amazing barrel-aged stuff. So we're putting against each other two farmhouse ales that were aged in oak, which have different price points. So what we want to know is it really worth it to spend $45 on a bottle versus a local one that's roughly the same style at a very much approachable price?
And I have mixed feelings about this. If we're not going to talk about the beers for 1 second now. Yep. I'm just going to go price range when it comes to beers. Every minute, every second that a batch of wort, a batch of beer spends into a fermenter or into a barrel is time that it's not generating money for you.
Yep.
Therefore, you have to charge it rent because it is technically taking money to keep it there, for the lights, for the temperature, for just the barrel in general, and just the fact that you're not selling it.
Exactly.
So, is it justifiable to sell a beer at $45? I mean, sure. Has it aged as long as a fine whiskey or as long as a vintage wine? Probably not. Generally, winemakers, they flip barrels around every year, and for whiskeys, it's a lot longer. But for beer, from 2 to 8 months, you're kind of getting a lot of the flavors you need from that barrel. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's not quite as long. You also have to take under consideration the brand. If it's a recognized brand and you can actually sell it at that price point and actually make money from it and actually get sales, then yeah, sure, why not go for it? But it is a double-edged sword. Quality-wise from these beers, they're both phenomenal beers.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention the price of the half-hour nerd.
Oh, we didn't?
No, we didn't. So,
$9.
No, it's 16.
16 bucks.
16 bucks.
Why do I think 9?
Because I vented the $9 and then I double checked and it's 16.
And it's 16, okay.
And also, I think their Pilsner was $9. That's why.
Okay. So it's almost half price from the other beer.
Almost half
Actually,
price.
a quarter of the price because there's the US that you have to convert.
Exactly. And little disclosure, it's a little bit bigger bottle. A little bit bigger. So we have a 750 against. Sorry. Oh, it's in ounces. Now I'm all mixed.
How many ounces?
It's one pint, 9.4 FLOZ.
Got no idea. It doesn't really matter in this case. So, Chris, what do you think initially of these beers? You've tasted both.
Yeah.
Do you know which is which?
First thought, one's fresh, one is aged. Okay. You can see it. I think you can smell it too. One has a lot more head retention on it, a little bit more aromas. The FR100 does fall on the grassy tones. I get a lot of grass notes. It's wet hop at the same time, so you can easily see why you get those more grassy green finish on it compared to the Jester King one, which has a little bit more complexity, a little bit more sourness out of it. It's tart and also a little bit of the citrus. You talk about more about like fresh citrus.
Right, rind. It's the skin of the lemon in this case. Yeah, when it comes to the half hours on Earth, it's very barnyard. It's very funk. Funk is a weird term that we use as beer makers that really has a lot of different flavors, aromas, and categories that fall under it. In this case, when I say funk, I mean barnyard, a little bit of horse saddle. It's a little sweaty, and it's also a little blue cheese. So there's a little bit of that kind of blue cheese fungus funk in it, which is not bad. I think for this style of beer, it fits really, really well. In fact, a lot of barrel aged beer, a lot of producers of barrel aged beer will keep at least 1 or 2 barrels that have had mold, but is not too intensely blue cheese, because you want sometimes a little bit just to balance it out. Now, another thing that I kind of suspect, I'm assuming it's not, but another trick that some brewers use to be able to get those barnyard flavors in is by using fresh hops and aging them into a barn for a few years. So that's something that I believe Jester King has done.
Yes.
I believe that Jolly Pumpkin has done.
Yes.
And I believe that Half Hours is also doing. I don't know 100%, but I've heard some rumors.
Yeah, because I actually informed myself with, I think it's Pit Caribou or Brett Savage, which is a Pit Caribou new project, the brewer. And he's doing that. So I saw what he's doing and I was wondering, like, if I want to do that in my own backyard, how does it work? And he was telling me it's probably like a good 2 to 3 year to
100%.
age your hops. Getting them oxidized will subdue the flavors, but you'll get a lot more. You still get the alpha acids and the bitterness out of them to age your beer, and it will actually give some funk, Mac.
Yeah, you're basically swapping your essential oil, so your nice fruity tones, for barnyard tones. Now, depending on which barn you choose to age it in, you're going to develop different aromas, different flavors. So if you go into a horse barn, that horse character that funk has sometimes is going to come out a lot more. But if you're in a nice hay barn, then it's probably more hay tones.
If I age it in my garage, will I get more?
Probably more tires. Your garage is full of tires. You're probably going to have a lot of tire.
So more rubbery finish on your hops.
100%.
Yes, I won't do that.
No. when it comes to barrels as well, is you're mixing 2 barrels. They all have their own personality, so it's never just a 1 barrel to 1 set of bottles. So you can play around with those flavors a lot more. And sometimes two barrels that taste like shit are going to be mixed together and taste awesome. So you really have to kind of develop your palate for that one. Half Hours on Earth, very funky, quite nice head retention. Still has that ripeness, but not on the nose. It's more on the flavors. It's got that tartness, but it's not a heavy lacto tartness.
Yep.
It's more robust, and naturally the oak kind of comes through. When it comes to the Jolly Pumpkin, Jester King.
Jester
God
King.
damn it.
The Jolly King.
The Jolly King, yeah.
Pumpkin Jester, or the Jester Pumpkin. If you want to mix everything together.
Okay, so I'm not confused.
Jester King. Yeah,
So the Jolly Jester King. When it comes to the Jolly Jester King, it's a little more on the ripe. Like the nose is quite lemon, but quite ripe, and the flavor is equally as ripe. Not quite as funky. You don't get any of that barnyard or any of that blue cheese.
Yep.
It's a lot more straightforward, a lot more oaky, and I believe it's the aging. I think it kind of ages out with time, and depending on how little or how much time you leave in the barrels, the beer's not quite finished. It's going to finish itself in the bottle because there's still active Brett in there.
And I did, after a couple of sips and making it sit a little bit more in the glass, I did found a little bit of that white wine tones to it.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact wine knowledge to pinpoint which one exactly, but I do get a little bit of that.
A little bit of two things. A little Pinot Grigio in the kind of fruity flavors.
Yep.
But then a little bit of that buttery, that Chardonnay butterness that you get from a white Chardonnay. Also, by looking at the colors, you can kind of gather that one is probably a oak aged a little longer than the other. It's a little more true with wine.
Yep.
Older wines and barrels are going to be a little darker. Youngers are going to be a little lighter. With beer, it depends on your grain bill naturally. But I feel like most of this color probably comes from the actual barrel.
Huh. So overall, Max, if we have to take a decision or we have to take a stand on it, $45 versus $16 Canadian. We can round this up at like let's do 55. US Canadian, yeah. No, 48. Let's do 48 because we're kind. I don't know what
here
the
on
exact
Hops and Bros,
exchange rate.
we're not very good at math in general.
Let's do
yeah, you can do it directly.
USD versus USD. Yeah.
US dollar, yeah.
CAD. Yeah. Usually, Hops and Bros, we do a little bit of research, but not
so
all.
1.32 right now.
So $45. Yeah, $60.
60 bucks.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's a $60 bottle versus a $16. So it's literally 1/3, almost a quarter. Yeah, more like a quarter of the price tag.
Yeah, okay, that's a whole different video now.
It is very different. So it's two very different beers in the sense that price-wise, two very different. Would I go for one or the other? Depends on the occasion. I don't like this because they're both very good. They both have their place.
Yeah.
But I could see how someone would want to take this beer and age it even longer and wait for a special occasion to open it. I'm not for that. I think if you're buying a beer, have it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like beer trades. Have the beer. You know, beer's not made to hoard, trade, sell, and make profits on.
Yeah, have it.
Well, I mean, it is made to make profits on, but to some extent. It's made to enjoy. It's made to enjoy with friends. It's made to make videos and compare two beers that are excellent and figure out which one would be better in the situation.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a right answer.
Before sitting down to do it, I knew I was aiming for probably the same conclusion. I think for myself that a price on the beer is up to you.
Yeah.
That's
what's your budget?
The beer. What's your budget?
Yeah, because I mean, if you bring one or the other to a party, anyone who's a beer lover is going to fucking love it. They're going to think it's awesome.
Yeah.
They're going to think it's the best thing ever. You know why? Because the beer in my hand is my favorite beer.
Exactly.
Regardless of what it is.
So, overall, $45 beer against $60
beer versus a $16
beer. There's no winners. That's it. It's up to you. It's up to the experience. It's up to whom you're drinking it with. So I've got to say, they're both winners in my heart. I love both breweries. We just made this whole video to make you guys wait and see how it looks like.
I feel like you guys were probably thinking it was going to go that way anyways. So if you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe, share. Let us know in the comments below what's the most money you would ever spend on a beer.
Yeah. And if you already spent a lot on a beer, let us know how much it was.
Yeah, because I'd be very curious because I've never spent more than like maybe $30 on a beer.
Yeah. So the highest amount gets a high five, free high five. We'll ship
We're going
it.
back to free high fives. Eh? See you guys in the next one.